Welcome, everyone. The Immortal podcast is about to begin in 5, 4, 3, 2. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Immortal podcast, episode 28. Nemo, we're rocking and rolling now every week, man. How you doing? Welcome back to the podcast, buddy. We got a few things to chat with the community about today now, don't we?
We do, of course. Another week in Sanctuary, another week, of course, playing Diablo Immortal. So we definitely have a lot to talk about. Super pumped. You know, everyone's over here. The whole family's joining. So let's get started.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, let's start how we start off every single week, and that is reminding everyone what this podcast is all about. Nemo and I come to you guys every week for 1 hour talking about Diablo Immortal. We have a few topics in mind, and, we talk about those topics, and then we turn it over to you guys, and we get some other ideas. We answer your questions. We get more discussion points from you. That's what makes this podcast pretty awesome, in my opinion. So, Nemo, I want to start off with talking about fading embers. This is something I recently learned. Fading embers are things that you receive from running Elder Rifts, and I believe you can only get them, correct me if I'm wrong, Nemo, if you run Elder Rifts with people that are using Legendary Crests. Am I correct there?
That is correct, yes.
All right, so cool. So I've been running Elder Rifts because they're one of my favorite things to do. And a lot of times when I'm just going to run one or two, I just search for a party randomly, right? I don't want to bother people that are in the clan or the alliance or the dark clan. And I just want to play with random people just because I'm going to be on for a round or two. And a lot of people have been rocking like lots of 10 legendary crests, which I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm going to get these embers and I'm going to be able to turn them into the Fa, and I'm going to be able to craft some, some gems, and they're going to be random because, again, I'm really only spending lightly in the game. My plan moving forward is to probably just buy the battle pass, maybe the Boon of Plenty. I'm not sure. That's really going to be it. I'm not going to go crazy buying all the packs. I'm not going to whale out inside of the game. So I realize from looking at conversations on Twitter and things like that, that there is a cap to how many fading embers you can earn per week. And Nemo, tell me if I'm correct here. This is 200 fading embers you could pick up per week, correct?
Yeah, there's a weekly cap of 200. Yep.
Right. So, and now how much does it cost for one? How many runes do you need how much does it cost for one Fa rune? How many fading embers? Is it 21 or 23?
I think it was like actually 18.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. I think it's 18.
I'm not sure either, and I don't have the game open right now to look. Let's say 18. And I think you need 21 of them to turn it into a random gem. So essentially, if I mean, I need a calculator to do the math. You're more of the genius than I am, Nemo. If you could only get 200 of the fading embers per week, do you even have enough to get enough runes? You don't have enough to get enough Fa runes to craft one legendary gem per week, do you? Let me pull out my calculator.
Well, it's not a legendary gem. There's a chance of a legendary gem, but that chance is actually less than 3.5% if you really think about it.
For a 5-star though, right?
Oh, no. For a possible 5 for any gem, for any 5-star gem. There's a 75% chance out of that you're gonna roll a 1-star, and there's a 20% chance that you're gonna roll a 2-star, my friend. And then the rest is split between those three. So there's a really small chance you're gonna get a 3 out of them anyway. So there's a better chance to probably just roll the cheaper file. But yeah, I mean, it's really small.
Small chance. But if you're a free-to-play player and your only way to get yourself those 5-star gems would be on chance, that's going to be your way to get it. I didn't like that. I didn't like the mechanic there. Like, it's a lot of a grind to get to enough of the fading embers that you need to get enough runes to do the gems, and I just felt like there shouldn't be a cap there. Like, if I want to grind all day Elder Rifts just so I can get enough so I can craft one gem or 2 gems, I don't love that idea of the cap. Is there anything that you want to add to that? If there's not, that's totally cool. But is there anything you want to add? And if you're looking at my screen right now, I have a bunch of gems. This is because in the beginning, I did buy all the packs, and I actually do have a bunch of Eternal Orbs right now, but I'm not buying Legendary Crests with them. So any of the gems that I have from those packs I initially bought upon release. But how do you feel about the Embers? What do you think it does to free-to-play players? Is it discouraging? Is it something that needs to be changed in your opinion? In my opinion, I would like to see it change, but that's just not capped. So it gives these free-to-play players the opportunity to put hours in per day grinding to get the runes to then have the chance of crafting something good, even if the chance is low. That's my idea, my thought.
Yeah, no, I'm actually 100% with you on that. In fact, the next video I made, it's coming out, I think, maybe Tuesday. I don't remember, but I already have a video, and where I discussed a couple of things, and this is one of them, the pain points. I agree. Like, I think that the fact is, you get this reward when somebody goes and gets a legendary crest, and they're gonna do it with a party. You get a reward. I'm not really sure if there should be a cap on it at all. Why should there be a cap? But I mean, I understand there could be all kinds of other situations that maybe we don't, know at our level. But high level, I really don't think it should be 200, and there definitely shouldn't be a cap, in my opinion. I agree with you, Echo. So 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I get the Blizzard trying to keep a balance. They want to, for people that are deciding to pay lots of money to play the game, they don't want those people to be able to just like their money to be thrown away to someone that's a free to play player that's just going to go in, grind these and maybe even be in a better position. I can understand that as well. I definitely see both sides of the fence there, but I would just like to see the ability for free to play players to be able to just get there without something stopping them or roadblock in their way. I mean, I've seen people, and I just put a video out recently on that, like and I titled it "How to Fix or Save Diablo Immortal." I want to clarify. I think Diablo Immortal is incredible. 95% of this game, I absolutely am in love with. I play it all day long. And I should, that's a lie. I don't play it all day long. I play it a lot more than I play anything else, and I really am enjoying the game. Like any game I've ever played, there's things that I think could be tweaked, fixed, or just done to make it better. And that's the kind of stuff we're talking about here. And now that I just had to say that, I got my mind off track, Nemo. Oh, man, where was I going with that conversation, man? Have my back, buddy.
I don't know where you're going with that conversation, but I know that there was a bunch of other stuff that we had to talk about.
Oh, yeah. I know what I was going.
Fading embers.
Yeah, I was talking about the fans, but I've seen some people on Twitter just say, legendary crests are the problem. If we figure out how to balance legendary crests, it literally will fix the entire game and everything will be perfect. Do you agree with that? Do you think that the heart and soul of the issue lies around the crests and around legendary gems?
That's a really tough one. I mean, that's a really, really, really tough one because I think that a lot of people who are complaining will complain no matter what happens. Now,
That's true.
If you're going to discuss pay to win, like to most of the people, even having extra slots is a pay to win. So, I mean, you also there's Scoria, there's a whole bunch of other systems, and why would they ever get rid of the legendary crest completely out of the game?
Yeah.
So,
I don't think
that's a feasible thing anyway.
I don't think they should get rid of the legendary crest. I think it's a huge part of the game. I love what the crests do to the Elder Rifts that people run as well. I think it's great. I just want free to play players to have better chances of getting there. We got 9ball on the house as well. Red October is here. A bunch of people from the family. Thanks guys for coming through. I appreciate it. And we're gonna be looking for your questions really soon. So if you want to start getting those ready, please feel free to. I kind of wanted to get the reason, Nemo, that I started out with the the pay to win discussion is because I'm kind of done with it, right? I don't really want to talk about it. I don't plan on putting videos out about it. I mean, that's like behind us now. All people complaining and whining about it, that's behind us. It's time to move on. It's time to start teaching people how to get through things in the game, how to get to where they want to be in the game, guides on all the stuff that we're going to be doing. It's time to just move on from the pay to win discussion. So now that I said my piece, my last few things that were in my mind that I wanted to get out there, they're out. I feel comfortable moving on. How about you?
Yeah, and I mean, speaking about moving on, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening this week. I don't know if you or some people are noticing this, right? If you're in Europe or maybe Australia or even North America now, right? A lot of the Shadow Wars have been concluded, and now the Right of Exile has been triggered. I don't know if you've all noticed that. Now, there's a bit of a difference between the first Right of Exile and just like generally the Right of Exile, because I don't think it should have took this long. I think we were sort of like slowed down a little bit to make sure. I believe it was the developers that said that the first Right of Exile for any server is going to be actually 3 weeks versus like 2 weeks or 1 week because They wanted to make sure that a lot more people get involved in this whole, Shadow versus Immortal mechanic, which is kind of cool. But long story short, we triggered the Rite of Exile. So, like tomorrow at 8 p.m., the rite's going to start, which is pretty cool. That means that someone, unless, of course, the NPCs defend, which I don't think it's going to happen, someone's going to be, immortal starting tomorrow. Just pretty exciting. A lot of new stuff is happening in the game, or is going to happen pretty soon for Australia. That's going to happen like in a few hours, right? That's pretty exciting. What do you think about that, Echo?
I think it's exciting too, and we have our family in Australia, so we're gonna be able to kind of see ahead of time. This is the great thing about the Scrappy Echoes. We have like an eye into all servers throughout the world. We have our family members over there, and we kind of see what's going on before it happens in our server. So it's kind of a cool, I don't know, advantage, I guess you could say, that we have. It's just cool to see and to know before we have that event, before we have to make content on it and participate in it ourselves. But I think this is where it's been going. This is the progression of the game that we've been looking forward to, that we knew was coming from beta, and now we know like even more. Like this is actually how it works. We're still learning along with everyone because it's not yet set in stone. But yeah, man, everything that we've been waiting for is happening. Rite of Exile is here, and I'm going to switch to you because I'm about to sneeze.
Sounds good. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Everyone's pretty excited. The first round of Immortals is going to be all around across all of the games, which means that there's a lot of new things that are happening, right? Once you become Immortal, you have to ally with a bunch of other clans. You have the whole Immortal dailies. You have the new Keon's Ordeal. You have actual responsibilities as the Immortal to defend the vault, and then you have to hold back everyone else in the server. Because remember, as soon as you become immortal, you also become a target for everyone else, unless you somehow, some way decide to have a peaceful server, which I really don't see happening. It's pretty exciting. So all of this stuff is going to be coming around. I'm pretty pumped to see what happens, what people think about the Keon's Ordeal and all that crazy stuff. What do you think about that, Echo?
I'm excited too. I mean, I this is stuff we haven't experienced yet, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Just want to point out, this is not a question, but this is a comment right now from Frost Starlight. My Shadow Clan just got done fighting Scrappy Echoes. I don't remember which version because we have multiple different tiers and names and clans, but I just wanted to say congratulations on your victory, guys. Good fight. That's what I'm talking about right there. We had a good fight, good sportsmanship, and we're all in this for fun. And just wanted to point that out right there. Thanks so much for the comment, Frost Starlight, and for supporting us here on the podcast as well. So yeah, we did have Nemo and we had a little fight this afternoon. It was the other squad. I mean, this is what we've been seeing a lot. We're not getting full squads yet, so we came through with 50 members ready to fight it out, and our opponents only had 10. And I think this is what we're seeing a lot from people that don't know what's going on, people that are going to create their clans and just kind of put a clan together with randoms that don't really keep up with the game. There's not great communication. As the weeks go on, I believe we're going to start seeing more difficult and tougher competition as we go, just because those players and everything's going to get more organized. And as teams lose that aren't putting through those more, the more powerful squads, we're going to be coming up against people that are really prepared and ready to go in and give us a tough fight. And I'm looking forward to those ones, Nemo. And how are you? I mean, you've been playing as the Immortal. How do you feel about tougher competition in the future?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Actually, so you there's a few things that you mentioned that are pretty important here, right? So the whole Immortal stuff, we'll talk about that in a second. But I don't know. Now, just quickly talk about the Shadow War, right? And the whole mechanic of having to show up. So you sign up for the Shadow War, for anybody who doesn't know, right? You sign up for the Shadow War on Monday, and then on both Thursday and Saturday, like most of your clan has to show up to the Shadow War. Now, for us, a lot of our clan has shown up. And the way it kind of works is there's 3 battles, and you have to split your clan between those 3 battles. So at most, right, you should, if you want to have full battles, you should have 30 players in each one. It's 90 players from your clan of 100, so it's like a 90% participation if you really think about it. For them to all show up and then fight for this. Now, the fight isn't very long and whatever, but it is from 7 p.m. when it starts. Like you get in there, you have 15 minutes, and it takes like 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes at most. But You have to have 90, if you want to win, right? Now, in this case, some people don't know what's going on. Some clans don't have a coordination, right? They don't have Discord. They're not on voice. They're just maybe, like you said, they're just kind of in game and they're just talking or whatever. So they might not know. But that's a lot of coordination to get that many people to show up at 7 p.m. on both Thursday and then Saturday. Some people are complaining about that. They're saying that's a little too much. In a highly organized clan, sure, they'll probably work. Maybe. Even with us, right? Even with us, we're seeing that we definitely can't get all of the players to show up. We can get most, but we're also super organized and etc. So I don't know. And then when you get to a higher level competition, once it gets pretty crazy and heated, you're gonna need all of your players to show up if you want to win. And if you're going against somebody who has them, like it's gonna be almost impossible. So anyway, long story short, I'm not sure how I feel about the whole mechanic of having to show up at all of those times. There's that many players. I don't know. What do you think, Echo?
It's tough, and let's be honest here, Nemo. On Thursday night, I couldn't attend. I mean, and I'm a big part of this whole thing right here. And I was coaching my son's baseball game. It started at 6, ended at 8, 7 o'clock was the event. I was thinking I'm gonna try and go in the dugout and like hop on really quick and jump into this 5-minute battle. But at the end of the day, like I'm coaching a baseball game. That game was over, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't even attempt. I didn't even get to get in there. It's gonna be tough in the long run to have multiple times per week to get 100 people or 90 people. I mean, 9ball just said that they got 87 versus 23. 87 is impressive to be able to get that many to show up. What I obviously, as you get further and further and you're getting closer and closer to where you want to be, it gets more exciting. You want to be there. But I mean, life happens, and I feel like the number has to be, for longevity reasons, if you have a clan of 100, make it so that 50 people have to attend. And you can either choose the 50 that are going to be there or the first 50 that get there, however you want to set it. Because if we have a very, Nemo and I, if we have scrappy echoes and we are super organized and on top of everything, but, 1 week, we got this person, she's having a baby. This guy, he's got something going on, and we just can't get people to go because of real life stuff. And we're versing another clan that maybe is able to field a deeper roster just with more people. It could be difficult to do that long run, having to get every single person in your clan there. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out long run. I would probably like to see you have to field 50% or 3/4 of your roster to give some, flexibility so that other people can have other things going on. Now, there's also the argument, Nemo, that if you want to be an immortal, you gotta have the best clan, you gotta be number one, and everyone needs to be firing on all cylinders. That's what it takes to be an immortal in Diablo Immortal. So that's a point too that we have to consider, if the clan isn't organized enough, if the players aren't structured enough, if they don't grind enough to get strong enough, then maybe we don't deserve to be the immortals at that case. What do you think of that whole argument side of it?
That's a very good point, actually, if you really think about it, right? You definitely need to be organized and to prove. Plus, on top of that, right, if you do want to be immortal, or if you really want to have a chance of even holding immortality, you have to be even more organized, right? Because now, you have to have a 48-player raid. You have to make sure that there's always somebody watching the vault between the hours of the day that it's open. Because there's going to be people attacking it, and you're going to need to defend the vault if you want, you want Ascension, and if you want to run Keon's Ordeal and the rest of all of that stuff. So I know there's going to be a lot of pressure on you if you're going to win immortality. So maybe this is a good test, like Echo said. I agree with that. A good idea, Echo. That's actually a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
And I wanted to grab this comment, but I didn't have time, so I'm going to actually just read it from chat. It's from 9. He said there's a lot of pros and cons. He said that we pointed out the cons, but he has some pros. So on the pro side, when you become the immortal, you have to commit 80 people to the rite of exile each week once it's unlocked. So it's practice for getting into that mindset. That's kind of what you were just talking about right there. So, but the point is that going to be feasible for people in all of these servers, hundreds of servers, which means thousands of people? Will they be able to build strong enough clans to field 80 people for Rite of Exile? Or will that also be something that is going to have to be kind of modified in the future, made for maybe instead of 80, knock it down to 50. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate, just asking, is it too much? Again, we're talking about here a mobile gaming community versus a PC gaming community. Mobile gaming communities in the past, we're the on and off gamers. We'll hop on, we'll play for 15 minutes and we'll hop off. We'll hop on, play for 3 minutes and then hop off. Some of the most successful games ever have 2 to 3 minute rounds. And it's because it's a quick fix, get on and off. That's been the whole focus of mobile. Now Diablo Immortal is doing something on mobile that I can't say it has never been done, but I don't think it's ever been done this well, and that is building out a full experience like a PC game, but on mobile. So it's definitely different from what the mobile audience is used to seeing. So that's what makes me curious to say, does the mobile audience, the mobile gamers that are going to be playing this long term, do they have the focus to stay on and play for those long game sessions and that strict of a schedule? And again, I bring up Rise of Kingdoms because this is a game that I've played. It was another game where there were wars and there were events and you had to be on at a certain time and you had to be able to field a large number of people. And that game has proven to do very well over time. It's made a lot of money. It's been very popular. And those wars, they happen with tons of people because the clans or the alliances there, they're able to field the people, they structure it, and the most structured ones are the ones that are going to do the best. And what we may need to see, I saw another comment come through in the chat saying, we may start seeing clans being merged together, get rid of dead weight people, put other take from other clans and kind of merge into a powerhouse so you could really control your server. But yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to both. I mean, I've already seen out of the 4 or 5 events, I had to miss one of them so far. And I didn't like it. I didn't feel good. I feel like even though we won that one and it was another like kind of a rollover, they had a lot less players than us. I felt bad. I felt like I was letting down my team. And I don't like feeling that way really. So I don't know. I think we kind of summed up this conversation, Nemo.
Yeah, agreed. That's the whole idea, right? To rally up the shadows together, take the immortals down, so you're going to need to work together. Very well put. So I'm pretty excited about this whole thing. So basically, starting tomorrow, right? Looks like, tomorrow at 8 p.m., you'll be able to participate in the Rite of Exile, and then we'll have new immortals. So we'll see what happens, what's going on. And then, of course, once the immortals come around, now let's see how long you're going to be able to hold immortality for, because now the entire server is coming after you. And now you have to do Keon's ordeal. You have to make sure that you do the essential. You have to have all of your players do things. You have to hold the vault. It's going to be pretty tough because I love raiding the vault. And I love raiding the vault a lot more than defending the vault. It's so much more fun to raid it. What do you think, Echo?
Yeah, you're the bad.
One of your favorite activities?
It was. Raid the Vault is a ton of fun. You're the bad guy. You're in there thieving everything. It's just a lot of fun. Plus, you know that you're the thorn in the side of the immortal. You know that you're waking someone. Well, the way that the times are now, you're not waking anybody up, but you're bothering the immortal, right? And they have to respond to the action that you're doing inside of the game. So it's kind of cool. You're controlling what someone is doing in their game, because if they don't defend, then you end up taking more than they want you to take, type of thing. So I like that idea. So we're doing pretty well right now with all the Shadow Wars. We're doing well. So I'm starting to feel like, oh well, maybe it would be kind of cool if we could get up there and be the immortals. And I never wanted to be. I always wanted to be the Shadow, just the one that's the thorn in the side. But now that we're getting close, I'm like, well, if we do well and we get there, maybe being an immortal wouldn't be so bad after all. But so that moves me on to the next piece of this conversation, Nemo, and I want to ask you, I know how much time it takes to be a shadow. You got your events, you do your shadow contracts, you contribute to shadow things. It's not a ton, right? It's like doing extra bounties throughout the day, participating in the PvP events that go on. But tell me about, like, if we're an immortal, how much more time investment do we have per day that's required, that you need to actually do so you can hold immortality?
Well, it really depends who you are and on the immortal side. If you're on the leadership side, you're going to need to do a lot more coordination, right? You're going to need to make sure that all of your members do the immortal dailies. You do the dailies so you can contribute Essentia to the reign, because you're gonna need to make sure that you contribute things, or that all of the members, or all of the 300 members on the immortal side, actually do their things in order for the reign to progress and get stronger and grow and etc. Right, so there's that aspect of having to do that. On top of that, you need to now make sure that you have Essentia, which, by the way, you have to hold the vault for, right? So now the shadows are coming in from the vault side and raiding that. So now you have to hold the vault and have teams that are ready and available. So as soon as the vault gets triggered, you go in there and wipe the shadows to try to keep some of the Essentia, which, to be honest with you, I feel like it's probably going to be it's going to be impossible, in my opinion, to hold the shadows from the vault. It's just the way it is. But you need the Essentia, right? So you need to hold the shadows to get the Essentia, so you can put it and spend it in order to initiate Kian's Ordeal. Kian's Ordeal is that 48-player raid that you're going to need to coordinate as the Immortals as well. So on top of what you're doing, you're also going to need to coordinate this raid, take the raid, take it down, etc. And then there's a bunch of other mechanics that are involved. There's the vault and all of the gear inside of the vault, and then the rating system of the Immortals and how that works. You have to assign the gear to the people who want it and all of that. There's some drama that goes on involved in that. And after that, the shadows are going to challenge you. So you're also going to need to make sure that you prepare and are ready, like what we're talking about with the 80 people, right? The 10 immortal ranks are going to have to go in and defend. And you need to make sure that they're stacked and strong, so at least 5 or 6 of them win if you want to continue to be immortal. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to do on top of just, doing the regular things. If you're the regular immortal, you have to do your dailies, you have to play around and, show up to those types of things. If you want to be an elite, you have to be in the Kian's Ordeal, things like that. But being in leadership of the immortal side, it's actually super frustrating.
All right. Nemo should be returning. A message was sent. Nemo, I don't know what's up, man, but you're hardwired. We keep losing your connection, man. I'm gonna have to come over there and teach you how to do some tech, buddy.
So it's actually not me. They're doing some work down my street over there, and I think they must have flipped the internet. But they've been doing it for 2 or 3 weeks now. They're digging up old things, and that's just crazy over there. I don't know.
It's okay. It happens. Hey, this is a live show. All right, Nemo. So I got this graphic. We've all seen this graphic. I want to go through it with you. It's about what went on, or the first week or so in Diablo Immortal. So this was sent out on Twitter by Diablo Immortal. Over 10 million installs. Total Elder Rift runs 42 and change million. Total demons killed 2 billion, almost 3 billion. Deadliest dungeon. You see what the deadliest dungeon is, right? Yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, yeah. Are you surprised?
No, not at all. We are brutal in the Cavern of Echoes. Most played class is the Necromancer. I'm not the most surprised about that, but it's cool to see. Total legendaries acquired 43 million. Total dungeons cleared 35 million. Total characters created 14 million, which is interesting. People are creating multiple characters. And total deaths 126 million. Is there anything that kind of stands out to you with all these stats and you think is weird, strange, odd, or just on par from what you thought? Now, we had 35 million pre-registrations, but only 10 million installs so far. What do you think that's about?
No, I mean, that's a good thing. I never really thought about that. I'm surprised about the Necromancer. Being I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's probably one of the cooler classes, one of the most demonic classes, I would say, maybe. I am surprised about the Cavern of Echoes. I don't know. I guess you know what? It would make sense, but I wouldn't think it would be a later dungeon. I would think it would be an earlier one because more players would try it and probably die there. But I mean, it makes sense. But I'm not really sure about the pre-register and the number. But the Cavern of Echoes being that's crazy. That's really cool, though. I like that it's your home.
I like this. I like that they had stats at all. I thought it was really cool that they put this infographic together. I was a fan of it, and it was cool. But yeah, the Necro, and the Necromancer is not a class that I was it was one that I wanted to play, which I did, but it wasn't one that I was I really want to play it now. Like, I'm watching necromancers run around. I haven't seen necros running around and said to myself, I really want to play as a necromancer. You'll be happy to know, Nemo, that today I was running around as my barbarian, loving it. By the way, the gameplay you're watching is like a stream I did 10 days ago. I haven't streamed in 10 days, just gameplay, so that's why the paragons are low, everyone playing. But there was someone that was a wizard crushing, man. It was a Paragon 30 or so wizard, and they were throwing fire. Everything was on fire around me. It was crazy. I'm like, wow, that was pretty impressive stuff. And it was the first time in the full release of the game that I saw someone playing wizard and said to myself, wow, that looks fun. Yeah. Have you seen?
Yeah, the wizard. High level wizard is super fun, man. You got the meteors, you got the fireballs, you have basically all of the skills. You can combine some of them together, right? Something like the ice crystals and all of that. It's really cool. The wizard has a lot of synergy between the skills too, so it's probably I'm telling you, it's one of the most fun classes to play when it comes to like high end PVE. I don't really like it in PvP too much. It's also super like a glass cannon, so you have to make sure that you keep running around. But if you get the right legendaries with the right, setup going and the right gems and all that, the wizard becomes super OP. I think you should try it, Echo. I think that, all of this time you've been saying that the wizard is the lowest class, but really, I think this was meant to be. Maybe if you play the wizard, you'll just fall in love instantly, and maybe that's the class that you want to play,
The wizard is the one. Now, remember, maxing out a character class in the alphas was level 45 at one point. So, keeping that in mind, the wizard was the one class I didn't max level. So I never got to experience that cool, fun end game stuff. But the problem that I have with the class change system is, like, you get your charm all perfect, which I'm still working on. It is a pain in the butt to do. And you get your gems all perfect and all that stuff. I'm gonna, in about a month, I'll probably have a barbarian that I'm really happy with. And then to class change out of that and have to regrind a bunch of those things and lose what I had for my barb, unless if I, of course, save all those things. I don't know. I feel like I'd have to start another whole character for that, but then I'll never catch up, and I'll run into that whole predicament. So what do you plan to do with the class change system when that one day becomes into effect? And by the way, Nineball did state that it's not active in China or other parts of the world yet. So a lot of those pre-registrations are from other areas that have not yet gotten Diablo Immortal as well. So what do you think about the class change? How are you gonna do that when it's time? Or are you barb for life?
Oh, I'm definitely doing the class change system because I definitely want to play as the wizard as well. Now, you make good points. As far as the charms, I mean, it's just the way it is. Now, you're not going to lose it, right? You'll still have the charm whenever you go back to your barb. So there's that. If you have a perfect charm, it's always going to be there. And, you'll have to probably work on getting a new one if you wanted to switch to a wizard, as well as get like all of the essences and hunt down all of your legendary gear. Now, I don't know how the gems is going to, like, obviously you probably keep the gems that you have, right? So, and most of the gems were useful, except like some. I'm not sure if like the trick shot gem is something that you want to keep for like the wizard versus just for the barbarian. And then also, I'm not really sure how it works with the resonance, right? So does that mean like what if you resonate all of your gear pieces? Does that mean that when you do the class transfer change system, you're still fully resonated, right? You're not losing those, but you don't have the gear. I don't know. So it's gonna get a little complicated. I'm not really sure how it's gonna work, but I'm definitely gonna try it. I'll tell you that because I want to play. I love the barbarian. I don't want to switch from the barbarian. It's a really fun class, but I definitely want to play as the wizard too, just to see what it's like with the changes and whatever. And once I perfect my PvP and PvE build from the barbarians and make those videos, I want to be ready to move to the wizard and make those PvE and PvP builds as well. I'm definitely going to try it for sure.
Well, I'm going to sit back and watch you try it and just see how much of your account is decimated. And if it's not too much, then maybe I'll do it myself. But if you go through and it's a mess, then I will maybe stay as a barb. Because I know that the barbarian is my favorite, right? Like, I know that I really do love playing as the barbarian. And I'd love playing as a barb more than anything else. But I already, only 10 days or 2 weeks in, I already am like wanting to play as a demon hunter really bad. And after seeing that wizard today, I said, man, I really want to play as a wizard. Now, your legendary gems aren't going to change, but there are some gems that are better for some classes versus others. So I guess you wouldn't be getting rid of it. So you mentioned the charm. The charm you'll just put in your storage and it'll be there. And when you come back to your barb, you'll have your charm there. But you'll have to start a new charm. But really, do charms do that much? Like, is it really that important to have a charm that's like all 5 skills? I mean, it's small, 2% buffs for each of those things. I don't know how big it is. And the gems that you use, of course, if you were to max out, let's say a 1-star gem, right? You were to get it max and perfect for the barbarian, but it just doesn't fit another class well. You just kind of keep it. You're not going to throw it away. You're not going to, I guess you could put it into something else, but you'd kind of keep that gem ready to go and just start investing your time and your grind into another gem that may be better for the class. So I guess there, as far as finding gear, I don't stress about it. Like, there's still some gear I want for my barb that I haven't found yet. And I'm just kind of, it gives you a reason to just do stuff in the game. Like, and every time I get a legendary piece of gear, I get excited. I'm like, is this it? Is this the one I've been waiting for? It never is, but that's always what I get excited about. So doing that grind again, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Nemo, have you been checking through the chat and have you seen any questions come through yet? I've been doing so much talking, I haven't actually grabbed much from the chat yet. Is there anything that you've noticed or not really?
There was a few questions there was a few questions on the charms. But yeah, a good thing to do, some people are saying, like, what do you do with the charms? A good thing to do is a lot of people are actually talking about this, right? Go through the charms, upgrade them, and even if you don't have the skills that, like, you don't need, maybe things that you don't use at all, if you get to the highest point, you could extract it and take a skill stone out of it and then go sell it on the market for platinum. It's a really good way of doing that, especially if you get lucky. Like, if you see a charm that has like a multiple skills for a specific build, like maybe for like a necro when you're playing as a barbarian, you can make a lot of money off of that charm. Or, once you extract the skill stone out of it on the market, because for a necromancer, that would make a lot of sense, right? Trying to get all those 3 or 4 skills that they need. So that's a really good thing to do with the charms. You can continually make platinum from them, and then use the platinum, hopefully, to buy yourself some legendary gems. That's probably one of the best things to do. A lot of people are mentioning that over here, so I just wanted to highlight that's a really good idea.
I like that idea as well. That is good. Well, I have this question come through from Frost Starlight. Could you please tell me what the least played class is, if that's possible, Echo? So we don't know what the least played class is. If I had to guess, I would guess it's the wizard or the monk. I'd say those are the 2 least played classes. Would you agree? And that's just my gut speaking right there. I don't know any facts on that. What do you think, Nemo?
I don't know if there's actually is. I mean, yeah, the problem. I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure if there's the least played class. I think they're all super awesome and they all have really awesome abilities and things that a lot of people might like. So, and there's a lot of synergy in between them, right? So I don't know if there's really a class that's least played. They're all really cool. I'd want to play all of them. I don't know. What do you think, Echo? Is there one that you really don't like? I mean, I think I like all of the classes.
Yeah, the one that
Demon Hunter, I suppose.
See,
that's just my playstyle.
I always like the Demon Hunter more than the Wizard, but they're all great. It's just you kind of want the opposite of what you are. So I'm playing as this barbarian up in your face, and then I'm watching some of these players that I struggle to get to in PvP because they're ranged. And I'm like, maybe it would be kind of cool if I was a ranged player. But then when you do get to them with your barbarian, you could slice them up pretty quickly because they're a glass cannon. But you always want what you don't have. It's typical in life. So I want what is the most opposite of what I have. I have a really tanky character that's up in your face. So what I'm watching and seeing is these demon hunters and wizards doing cool stuff, and that's kind of what's standing out to me the most. Now, we did have a question that came through. It's from the wicked one. How are you able to sell gems in the market? Mine says it's not tradable. Some are tradable and some aren't. And this is something that I just recently learned as well. Nemo just put a video out about legendary gems as well on his channel, which is the Scrappy Academy YouTube channel. So I'll let Nemo give the details of it, but I also only ones that are, if you get them from the Boon of Plenty or from which ones are you allowed to sell? Only ones that you buy straight up legendary crests in the shop, just orbs for legendary crests. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So, that's one of the things I'm going to be actually talking about in the video that I have coming out. I believe on Tuesday. So there's a difference between legendary crest and eternal legendary crest now. So the legendary crest is what you get from everywhere. That's like basically free, or even things like from Battle Pass and Prodigy's Pass and all of that. Versus the eternal crests, which you can only buy, right? So if you actually go and literally just go to the store and buy the crests from there, those are the eternal legendary crests. They give you gems that are unbound, the ones that you're able to trade and sell on the market. Anything else you can't sell. So like the other day, I got myself a 3 out of 5 stars seeping bile or something like that. I don't like seeping bile. I don't use seeping bile. Even if I did use seeping bile, I would never get enough to be able to upgrade it, because it's a 5 out of a 5-star, right? It takes a lot to upgrade it, but I wasn't able to sell it, because normally you probably drop it and be able to sell it on the market. I went and looked it up, like something like 120,000 platinum, somewhere around there. Like that's what
I think what we should do here, since we're having an in and out connection issue, is I know it's annoying from your guys' side to have to watch that. And I'm going to have Nemo finish up his point that he was talking about the gems that he could sell in the shop. And then we're going to go to our final question, cut the episode a little bit short today just because of the tech issues that we're running into. And hopefully we can make sure that it's all good to go next week, Nemo. What was it you wanted to say, your finishing point on selling those gems in the shop?
Yeah, sorry, I hear like ambulances and things now. It's pretty crazy over there. But my point was that you basically can't sell the legendary gems even if you get them. In high level, the only thing I was able to do was infuse it back into another gem for 32 gem power, versus being able to sell it for like $200 worth of platinum, and then using that platinum to buy other gems with it. So it was kind of annoying, to be honest with you. This is my high level with it, and I have a video coming out, sort of like high level talking about these points and seeing why I think they should be adjusted in my opinion. So,
Yeah, I agree. I agree that they should be adjusted too. That's when you get a great gem, even if it's not one that you want to use, and then you can only use it to get 32 gem power into another gem, it's just like, man, I could have sold that thing for 5,000 platinum, but you can't. So we're gonna close shop a little earlier today, Nemo, than we typically do, just because of the tech stuff that we're dealing with right now. And which takes us to our end of show question from Red October. He says, "What was the last movie that you saw?" Nemo, what was the last movie that you saw? And I'm gonna think.
Just last night, I was watching the new Mission Impossible. The last one, I think it was it 4 or whatever the last one was, with Ethan and all of them, which was actually not bad. It wasn't. I was expecting it to be bad because they've stretched them out. There's like 100,000 Mission Impossibles now, but not bad. I thought it was pretty good. What about you, Echo?
Mine was a kid one. Obviously, I have kids, so I watch kids movies all the time, and it was Clifford, man. Clifford was the last movie I saw. It's a big red dog. That's what it's like. That's what it's like in my house. Yeah. Wow. Unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know. But hey, guys, sorry about the tech issues today. We fought through them as best as we could, but that is the Immortal Podcast. We will be back next week, and we do have a special guest planned for you guys. Remember to come follow me here on the YouTube channel, Echo Gaming Diablo. Drop a sub if you're into Diablo Immortal. Same thing for Nemo on his Scrappy Academy YouTube channel. Everything is linked down below here on Twitch and in the description over on YouTube as well. Next week, bring your questions. We'll dive into them even more deep than we have already. Thank you for the subs, memberships, and any donations donations you drop during the show. We appreciate you guys very, very much. Nemo, last things you want to say before we go?
No, thanks so much for being here. I love being here with the entire family. Hope you have a good rest of your week, and can't wait to talk to you next week with hopefully, with the results from the Rite of Exile that's happening tomorrow.
Sounds exciting. Sounds exciting. We'll see you guys next week and in our videos that drop throughout the week. Have a great day, guys. Be good.